Okay, so where we're headed now is we're going to peyote stitch on a prior piece that we just finished up with. I've decided in my design I want to bring this up before I add my tile beads. So I'm going to come up through one of my threads that are couch down beads right next to the focal, and then we're going to come through a bead. This is kind of a good refresher on how to do your peyote stitch as well. So I'm coming through a bead. I'm going to pick up a bead, and remember in the last one where your thread's coming out, you skip the bead right next door to that and you go through the next one. And like I said before, don't be afraid if you bend your material a little bit, it'll be fine, it won't hurt anything. So we're going to turn around and go through this all the way around. So remember, pick up a bead, watch where your thread is, skip a bead, and go through the next bead. Pick up a bead, skip a bead, and go through the next bead. All the way around. Now see, they're standing up a little bit taller because the cup chain is forcing them to. And we're going to go all the way around it. This is the beauty about free form and no patterns. You can do whatever you want, so I really highly encourage you just take it to your level where you feel comfortable. Don't be afraid to try new things. Okay, now we're going for our third row of peyote here. And again, you're coming out your bead and you're going through your bead that's sticking up. Remember we talked about it being like a door hinge. Some people call it a outie bead as well. That might be another way for you to remember. My two favorite stitches are bead embroidery and peyote stitch. They're very relaxing. Okay, we're coming around the corner for our third row, and then we'll add our size 15s in. And I really like this 1G thread too, and I use beige for almost every one of my projects. It's a color that goes with almost everything, even including black beads. Some people like to use all the different color threads, but for me it's easier for me just to have one color of thread. And okay, almost around. Remember to pull your thread towards your focal too. It'll tighten it up. Don't pull away. That loosens it. Oh, it's a good thing I have a long piece of thread. This goes pretty quick considering it's a small. I think this is about a 15 millimeter disc. Okay. Now it's time for me to add the size 15s. And those are these little white ones here. See how that pulls it nice and tight towards the focal bead? It gives it a really nice finish. See how the outie beads just stick up just enough that you can tell the difference where which bead to go into. Whoops. I think maybe I better just hold on to it. And anytime you get knotted up, just thread your needle and take out the knot. Don't pull it tight. If you ever get a knot, see if you can get it out before. And see how this is kind of tilted up a little bit? We're just going to push it down and let those size 15 beads just really tighten it up and tug it in there. Just tighten it up. See, pulling towards your work, look at what the difference it makes. If you pull away from it, see how it loosens it? Always pull towards. Okay, we're almost there. Isn't this fun? Look at how pretty that's turning out. Okay, so you get all the way around, and what you're going to do is you're going to weave yourself down through your beading foundation for the next step. So I'm going to go through my size 15 here. I get little fuzzies here. And I'm going to weave myself down through these beads. And sometimes you can only go through a couple at a time, and that's okay. You just don't want your threads to show. So just pick your path so your thread doesn't show. Okay, now we're all the way through, and we have a nice little embezzled cap there.